This is Joe Blasco, and this year has marked the death of two very, very special and important people to me. Mr. Vincent J.R. Kehoe, and now, only 1 week ago, Mr. Forrest J. Ackerman. Now, we all know Vincent Kehoe was the man who wrote the very first books on motion picture and television makeup artistry. And we also know that Forrest J. Ackerman was the man who invented sci-fi, science fiction. In fact, he coined the phrase sci-fi. And it was his book, Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine, that was the inspiration to so many of us young, aspiring makeup artists, directors, producers, and writers. And we will miss Forrey Ackerman very, very much. I had the great opportunity of having both Forrey Ackerman and Vincent J.R. Kehoe present at the award ceremony when I was presented with a Lifetime Achievement Award in makeup artistry by the USITT. And it was so wonderful to have both of these men who influenced me so greatly at my side at that moment. And Forrey Ackerman, in all honesty, was the man who started it, because it was Forrey Ackerman's magazine, Famous Monsters of Filmland, that I discovered long before I discovered the book written by Vincent Kehoe, The Technique of Film and Television Makeup. It was Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine that I can recall spotting in a drugstore in Jeannette, Pennsylvania, on Clay Avenue, the town where I grew up. And I didn't have enough money to buy that magazine. I only had 25 cents in my pocket, and the magazine was 50 cents. And I walked out of the drugstore, and I was about 11 years old, and I was very dismayed and very saddened by not being able to buy the magazine. And I was walking up the sidewalk, and I heard the voice, "Joey, what's the matter?" And I looked up, and it was my Aunt Nancy. And I said, "Well, Aunt Nancy," I said, I have a magazine that I've just discovered. It's called Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine, and it costs 50 cents, and I only have a quarter." So she reached into her purse, and she gave me 25 cents. And I ran back to Beneventano's drugstore, and I bought that first issue of Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine. And from that point on, I was hooked. I read that magazine from cover to cover every month that it came out. And to this day, I have one of the largest collections, I'm sure, of Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine. I have them all encapsulated in plastic and all stored away perfectly. In fact, you'll see in a film clip that we're going to show you of a meeting that I had with Forrest at my school in Hollywood, California, where I tell Forrest that very story of how I first discovered Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine. And I show him some of the collection, and you can see the look on his face of reverence when he sees these magazines being taken out of the boxes where I've so very carefully stored them. Forrey Ackerman created Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine, and people like Ray Bradbury and John Landis and Joe Dante and so many, Rick Baker, myself, so many, Vern Langdon, so many makeup artists and writers and directors and producers of the sci-fi and horror genre actually got their start because of Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine. I have before me here a couple of emails that have been sent to me. The first reads, and if I may put my glasses on, Forrey, which he was very lovingly called Forrey for Forrest. Forrey and his Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine has always been an inspiration to me and to my career. From the first time I picked up the publication, when I was 10 years old, I was fascinated by monsters and the makeup that created them. I am grateful, as I'm sure we all are, to Forrey for supplying all of us with the history of horror and sci-fi films. In 1972, his magazine held a makeup contest, which I eagerly entered and had 2 creations published. Winning a second prize for one creation helped fortify my need and willingness to form my life and profession around all aspects of the makeup industry. Thank you, Forrey, and we'll all miss your love and enthusiasm for the film genre. I will always cherish my full collection of Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine with the respect that you gave it. Sincerely and respectfully, Matthew Mungle. That was from Matthew W. Mungle. Here is one, also a very special email that we've received, and this reads, Forrey Ackerman was a legend to the sci-fi and horror collector world and did more than anyone to keep the classics alive. He will be missed. This was sent to us by Bela Lugosi Jr., the son of the man who created the character Dracula in 1931 for Universal Studios. Yes, Forrey Ackerman will be missed, but his legacy will live on in the hearts and minds and memories of all of us whom he inspired so greatly. This is Joe Blasco for MUA TV.